I just have a humble request. Maybe things could just be set up before we come down. Microphones, well, eyeballs, or just jump right in here. Takes 10 minutes for us to kind of get everything together here. So, if out of respect for the person who's speaking, and those who are listening, if we get all of that ready beforehand. So, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Kirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances on the personality of the Lord Narayana, and Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, and the mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and on the Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashnamayeshwaradechu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Rudashote Bhakti Bhagavati Naishviki. By regular attendance in the classes of the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all his troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as the pure yogic craft. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Today we're looking at
427.
chapter 4, 10 to 4, chapter 27, and we read 13 to 30. That's a lot. And we're going to concentrate on verse 24. Alright, and this chapter is entitled Attacked by the Chandega of the City of King Puranchand. Are we ready to rock and roll? Thank you. 13. These things to be ready. Everybody ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. O King in Nadarvaloka, earthly king Chandaveda, under him there are 360 glittering powerful and soldiers. Along with Chandaveda were as many female as there were soldiers, and all of them repeatedly plundered all the paraphernalia of sense enjoyment. When King Gandharva asked Chandaveda and his followers began to plunder the city of Puranchand, the snake with 5 hoods began to defend the city. The 5-hooded serpent was supreme and protector of the city of King Puranchand, fought with the Gandharvas for 100 years. He fought alone with all of them, although they numbered 720,000. Because he had to fight alone with so many soldiers, all of whom were great warriors, the serpent with 5 hoods became very weak. Seeing that his most intimate friend was weeping, King Puranjan and his friends and his citizens, living within the city, all became very anxious. King Puranjan collected taxes in the city known as Panchananta, and thus was able to maintain sexual indulgence. Being completely uncontrolled with women, he could not understand that his life was passing away and that it was reaching the point of death. My dear King Puranjan, all this time the daughter of formidable time was seeking her husband throughout the three worlds. Although no one agreed to accept her, she came. The daughter of time, Chera, was very unfortunate. Consequently, she was known as Marga, ill-fated. However, she was once pleased with the great king, and because the king accepted her, she granted him a great benediction. When I once came to this earth from Brahmaloka, the highest humanitarian system, the daughter of time, wandering over the universe, met me. Knowing me to be an avowed brahmachari, she became hostile and proposed that I accept her. The great sage Narada continued. When I refused to accept her request, she became very angry at me and cursed me severely. Because I refused her request, she said that I would not be able to stay among the people for a long time. After she was less disappointed in me, with my permission, she approached the king of the Yavanas, whose name was Marga or Fear, and she accepted him as her husband. Approaching the king of the Yavanas, Kalikana, addressed him as a great hero, saying, "My dear sir, you are the best of the untouchables. I am in love with you, and I want you as my husband. I know that no one is baffled if he makes friends with you. One who does not give charity according to the customs or injunctions of the scriptures, and one who does not accept charity in that way, are considered to be morally honest. Such persons call the power of the foolish. Surely they must lament to the end." Hallelujah. Continue, O gentle one. I am now present before you to serve you. Please accept me, and thus will show me mercy. It is a gentleman's greatest duty to be compassionate upon a person who is distressed. After hearing the statement of Hallelujah, the daughter of time, the king of the Yavanas began to smile and devise the means for executing his confidential duty on behalf of Providence. He then addressed Hallelujah as follows. The king of the Yavanas replied, "After much consideration, I arrived at a husband for you. Actually, as far as everyone is concerned, you are inauspicious and mischievous. Since no one likes you, how can anyone accept you as his wife? This world is a daughter of fruitive activities. Therefore, you may imperceptibly attack people in general. Helped by my soldiers, you can kill them without opposition." The king of the Yavanas continued, "Here is my brother, Raj. I now accept you as my sister. I shall employ both of you, as well as my native soldiers, to act imperceptibly within this world." That's it. Now we're going to go to verse number 24, okay? Are we ready to go? Okay. Rishabham Yavananam Tvam
Rishabham Yavananam Tvam
Sitam Patim Twayi Bhutanam
Sankalpasvai Bhutanam
Kilana Rishati
Kritanakilana Rishati
Rasabham Yavananam Tvam
Rasabham Yavananam Tvam
Vrine Vireksitam Patim
Vrine Vireksitam Patim Sankalpasvai Bhutanam Krita Kilana Rishati
Rishabham Yavananam Tvam
Vrine Vireksitam Patim
Sankalpastvai Bhutana
Sankalpasvai Bhutanam
Krita
Rishabam Yavananam Tvam
Rishabam Yavananam Tvam Vine Virepasitam Pitam
Vrene Virepasitam Patim Sankalpastvai Bhutanam Sankalpastvai Bhutanam
Kilana Rishati
Krita Kilana Vishyati.
Great. Rishabam,
The best.
Yavananam,
Of
the untouchables.
Tvam,
You. Vrene,
Vrene,
I. Excellent. Vira, O great hero. Ipsitam, desire. Patim, husband. Sankalpaha, determination. Tvai, unto you. Bhutanam, of all living entities. Kritaha, if done. Kila, certainly. Na, never. Rishyati, becomes baffled. Translation. Approaching the king of the Yavanas, addressed him as a great hero, saying, "My dear sir, you are the best husband of Christians. I am in love with you, and I want you as my husband. I know that no one is conflict between my friends with you." And purport by Swami Bhakti the Swami The words Yavananam Urshavam refer to the king of the Yavanas. The Sanskrit words Yavana and Malecha apply to those who do not follow the Vedic principles. According to the Vedic principles, one should rise early in the morning, take bath, shower, chant, Hare Krishna is a good idea, right? Offer Mangal to the
Devotees.
Study literature, take
Prasadam.
and
Engage
in
Devotional service.
dressing and decorating the deities. One must also collect money for the temple expenditures. Or if one is a householder, he must go to work in accordance with the prescribed duties of a
Kshatriya.
In this way, one should live a life of spiritual understanding. And this is the Vedic way of civilization. One who does not
Engage.
follow all these rules and regulations is called a yavana or malecha. One should not mistakenly think these words refer to certain classes of men in other countries. There is no question of limitation according to nationalism. Whether one lives in
Happy.
live in, where do people live?
Civilized. Cities.
In India. Or outside of
India.
he is called a yavana or malecha. If he does not follow the Vedic principles. One who does not actually follow the hygienic principles prescribed in the Vedic rules and regulations will be subjected to many contagious diseases. Because the students in this
Krishna. Consciousness.
movement are advised to follow the Vedic principles, they naturally become hygienic. If a person is
Krishna conscious.
he can work like a young man, even if he is 70 or 80 years old. Thus, the daughter of Kala cannot overcome a Vaishnava. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami engaged in writing Gita and Charitamrita when he was very old. Yet, he presented the most wonderful literature about the activities of
This spring.
Srila Goswami and Sanatana Goswami began their spiritual lives at a very old
age.
That is, after they retired from their occupations and family lives. Yet they presented many valuable services to the advancement of spiritual life. This is confirmed in Srila Srinivasacharya, who praised the Goswamis in this way. Nana Shastra Vichana Kanipuno Sadharma Samstapako Lokanam Vitakarino Tribhuvane Maya Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Pararavinda Bhajana Nande Namastrariko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghulivo Shri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisance. We should have I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Srila Sanatana Goswami and Bhakti Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds. And they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. Right. Thus, Jara, the effect of old age does not harass the devotee. This is because the devotee follows the instructions and the determination of Narada Muni. All devotees are in the disciplic succession, stemming from Narada Muni, because they worship the deity according to Narada Muni's direction, namely the Narada Pancharatra, or the Pancharatric Vidi. A devotee follows the principles of Pancharatric Vidi as well as Bhagavata Vidi. Bhagavata Vidi includes preaching work. Shravanam Kirtanam. That's it. The hearing and chanting of the glories of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Pancharatric Vidi includes Arjanam Vandanam Dasyam. Because the devotee rigidly follows the instructions of he has no fear of old age, disease, or death. Apparently, a devotee may grow old, but he is not subjected to the symptoms of the
Body.
defeat experienced by a common man in old age. Consequently, old age does not make a devotee fearful of death, as a common man is fearful of death. When Jara or old age takes shelter of the devotee, Kalya Kanya diminishes the devotee's fear. The devotee knows that after death he is going back back to Godhead. There is no fear of death. That's right. Thus, instead of depressing a devotee, advanced age helps them become fearless and thus happy. Thank you very much. That was actually two pages. Okay. We're continuing on with the story of the allegory. There's many stories that are metaphorical in the Vedas. Many are figurative, and then some are like, just to give an example, the bull that shows up at the beginning of Kali Yuga, and someone by the name of Kali just dresses up like a king, like some people do this man, he came and he struck severely on the legs of a bull. The bull represents or is figurative to the principles of Dharma, and Dharma stands upon 4 pillars, you would say 4 legs, and one of them is cleanliness, another one is
Austerity.
another one is austerity, and then the other one is truthfulness. Mercy. Okay, so those are 4, and then because he succeeded in injuring 3 of the legs, the bull stands on the bull of Dharma, stands on truthfulness. So even though we are in the Kali Yuga, it's not anybody's fault, it's just the way we should be. It's always been that way. Okay, so it's almost like the table's on one leg. 4 legs of arch, there's 6 legs. And still! So this is the problem. Truth is preserved, and just like truth, it goes underground. There's an undercurrent of it. It's not always obvious to people that there's a truth in this world. And that truth, of course, ultimately is the absolute truth. That truth is Krishna, is a creator. A lot of people are debating that these days. A lot of folks are just the numbers of atheism are just going exponentially. It's really incredible and kind of sad at the same time. And then people who are like us, we're rather simple, we think simple, but we also think logically, you know? Okay, we're living in a creation, good, and we are creatures. Well, what happened to the creator? How can you take out of that, there's 3 points. What happened to the creator? Can you just eliminate the creator? So I just want to ask that question to all of you atheists here. Is this a creation or not that we live in?
It's a complete accident, sir.
It's an accident. Okay, thank you very much for the argument. It's an accident. Yeah, I'm going to give you an accident. Okay, I can't be aggressive just because you oppose me, but let's just think logically. People who believe in God, they do have some strong points that they live by, But they generally are clean, they're merciful, all those kind of qualities are there. But, we do have this issue of people questioning the existence of some divine intelligence. I think about it every day practically. So, well, how can you just ignore? How can you just erase? You're walking in a ravine, the river's flowing, the buds are coming out, the cardinals are flying. So, it's just all an accident. And you've got people like a man and a woman, and they come together, and it becomes a perfect fit for producing a baby. And a baby is like when a baby comes out, oh, look at that! It's like a miracle, and just an accident. Yeah, really. I mean, logical thinkers. So you come out of schools, probably call them slaughterhouses for good reason. And I'm not trying to say discourage anybody from going for some education, but higher education, I got my master's degree. But where did your servant's degree begin? When are you going for a servant's degree? Perhaps the servant's degree has to come after the master's degree. It seems so. You can get puffed up. I did it. I got my degree, and now I can get a great job. A lot of people these days can't even get a job after they got their diploma. Right? After they wear the hat with the little tussle on the side, and wear the gown, and then they get their diploma. You can't even get a job. There's no guarantee that you could really be a master. And then you have to learn, like this, maybe in the servant. Maybe I should be a little bit humble. And you present your CVs, your resumes, so you have to be humble. I need a job, like a little job. And so usually the reality spells out that we must become humble. Right? Trinadapi Sulijina, Tarodapi Seshana, Amanina Manadina, Kirtani Sadani. Remember Geldas? Yes, you did. Okay, you know, before he passed away, he told me that they had a big company and he won some awards for coming up with what do you call it, a formula for making like yogurt. A formula, he came up with a bacteria, you know. So he was a very intelligent man, and unfortunately passed away. He went coming back from the gym, and he was driving, and he lost it, and the van kept going onto someone's driveway and just stopped right there by the doorway of someone's house. So you could be an intelligent man, you could be a master, but ultimately we're a servant. The point I want to make with him is that he told me, was that we don't hire university students. I says, oh really? I said, well, they know everything. Or they come across with an attitude that they know everything, and that we just arrived like yesterday with our company. So there's something to be said about that. And I find that if you're walking in an area, I do like to walk. There's Philosopher's Walk, you know, up Bloor Street, you know, Philosopher's Walk. And you can be walking there, and no one will recognize you. There's this very snooty, you know. And then you go to another, like a humble neighborhood, like Mexican community or, you know, Jamaican community. How's it going, bro? Oh, no problem. You know, there's this whole other attitude, another reality of, well, we're all part of the same world and part of the same family, so let's get on with each other, let's make friends. But it seems to me that if you're very arrogant, you know, or you've got your high degrees, that you may have some nose problems, if I can use that term. You know what I mean? Nose problems, you know, up in the air. Yeah, so let's get back to the story. Truth. Truth is what's supposed to come out, and it's the honorable, the devotees who live by truth because they embrace these qualities of being hygienic and showing mercy. We don't eat the animals, and we shower in the morning like that. I was always impressed, like when you go like in India, some of the worst places, there's a pump, and these guys all soap up, and they come from a very simple background, but I have to take a bath. You know? So that is a condition. That's what qualifies you. And to be civilized, let's put it that way, you know, civilized. So we're talking about allegories, and we ended up speaking a little bit about the bull and who got severely injured, and then he gets more or less rescued. But he's very humiliated, and that's another common feature of the Kali Yuga. We get humiliated, and that's very sad. Prabhupada gives us some hints how we can become evolved, how we can become better people, and that doesn't mean you become sleepy. It just because you've got a better lifestyle doesn't mean you have to be arrogant and be condescending. Right? So what are some of those things? 9 practices are a regular feature of our life. It begins with chanting to Vishnu, and then Saravatam Kirtan Vishnu, Smaranam, you know, hearing, remembering. Prahlad Maharaj was the expert person in this field, remembering, recalling the Lord while he was being taught. Pada Sevanam, what does that mean? Yeah, Pada, go to the Pada, go to the feet, and do Seva at the feet of the Lord, which can translate into serving the devotees, serving the guru, serving the community, and even help with Archanam, which is to do some kind of worship. In South India, they were like elaborate with puja, and also not saying it's inferior, I'm just saying that at least they're doing some kind of puja. And a lot of people want pin-ups, on their, like when you're a teenager, you have pin-ups, like pin-up people, the people you adore, isn't it? Do any of you, I mean, I'm not gonna embarrass anybody, but that's what you do. You look at pin-up girls or the pin-up boys, and look at them and, oh, I wish I was like that, So it is a kind of meditation, reflection, padasevam, archanam, vandanam, pray. Okay. When we do these little workshops called the 9 Devotions, which we've done with some of you, 9 Devotions, it's so much fun. Yeah, yes. And I want to tell you something. I once was one of the devotees I gave Diksha to. She's in Montreal. Gayatri is her name. And she's into martial arts. So she has lady friends that are martial artists. So Anubhav, the temple president there, translated what I did into French, explaining the 9 Devotions. And it was a very interactive thing. And so when it got to Vandanam, when we practiced Vandanam prayer, and they were all asked to write a prayer, it kind of changed them. That something started percolating inside of them. Many of them had been exposed to the atheist, materialistic, capitalistic world. And now they're asked us to give a prayer. Because people will ask, even an atheist, could you pray? So, how do I do that? Maybe send good vibes. I think that's the terminology there. Send good vibes. So what are those vibes all about? It's just, I wish someone well. It really is like a prayer, per se. And so after we went through the 9 Devotions, and what really kind of gets, not under their skin, I guess you could say, but hits the heart, is when they say, let's have an exercise in surrender. That's the 9 devotional principle. Surrender. Let's have a moment where we surrender. Usually we get everyone to just lie down on the floor, relax, close your eyes, and just be in that mood of letting go. So what was so wonderful about this presentation, after the presentation, I had 3 ladies out of the bunch, there's about 20 of them, and they said to me, thank you for having me believe in God again. And this is just after a 2.5-hour session. People are a little bit shaky about, speaking about shakiness, shaky about this. Is there a guy out there, or is there not? So when you go through the simple 9 processes and have a little taste of it, it can really transition people just in a matter of a short period of time. So I thought, wow, I'm on the right track. I have to keep doing these little workshops on the 9 Devotions. But let's stick to it. Let's talk about where did we leave off? We were praying, right? Everyone prays. And then dasyam, just being humble. Dasyam, playing a humble role, because I think I mentioned it was just as the pandemic was closing down, one man came and he responded to our kirtan that we had at the corner of Roxborough and Avenue Road. We were doing kirtan like every night when people weren't allowed to come in, or they were allowed to come in on a sort of a temporary basis, or this 6'2" thing and all that stuff. So one man gives it. I was wondering if I could talk to you. And he looked like an intellectual. And I said, yeah, okay, well, you get there on Monday? He said, yeah, cool. Where would you like to meet? No, maybe we could just meet in the park. The weather's nice these days. So we did. And sat down and said, now I just want to tell you about atheists. I said, okay, no problem. I'm not going to judge you. You're an atheist. Because basically you don't believe in God. He said, but what about this? And he was a lawyer. And he said, what about this mindset? What about this? There's you, and you are important. And then there's everything else outside of you, which is much greater than you. So would it make sense to makes sense to contemplate the fact that I'm just a little screwball. I'm sure there's some phrase like that. I'm just a tiny little something here in this big world. Doesn't that humble you, that kind of reflection? First of all, I walked him through, he agreed. And then I came to this point though. So you may not believe in God, but why don't we just appreciate the value of everything else out there that is so massive and magnanimous and so giving and that type of thing. So he seemed to, I didn't say I had him in the palm of my hand. He was a lawyer. You can't do that with lawyers, right? But he just really did appreciate the fact that, okay, yeah, that's something for me to think about. So he went away, I think, a little bit more enriched. How can we, and of course it only takes a big ego to just kind of like deny the magnitude and the greatness and the vastness and the magnanimous, the giving nature of the universe that we depend on so much. So when we say, you may not believe in God, but it would be a good idea just to appreciate. And that's what Vandanam is about, But there's different forms of Vandanam prayer. I'm just going to go back into Vandanam right now. And it's closely related to Dasya. Okay, so what kind of prayer? There's lots of different prayers. What kind of prayers do people put out there? I'm just asking, just to get things rolling.
Outside as well. They are seeking something.
Oh, yes. They're seeking, you say?
Yes.
Okay, great. So they're looking for something. Looking for an answer. What's the goal of life? That sort of thing. What else? What do people pray for?
Materialistic possessions.
Yeah, do you want to be more specific?
Property or
Property, sure. People do pray for these things. That's right. People pray for a good partner. People pray for, someone sick in the family. Says, can you please heal my uncle? I was in Ireland. It was like a real busy time. Ireland, they have narrow roads, and then there's hardly a shoulder to the road. This was September, I was going, and there was these blackberries with the, vines coming out. I think, be really careful not building with you. So anyways, on one of those mornings, rush hour, a woman pulled over and said, I don't know what you're doing, but my uncle's in the hospital. You pray for him? And then the traffic, she's actually stopped the road. And then, she had to move on. Yes, I will. I will pray for him. I caught his name. It's important to grab. What's your uncle's name? And then I thought, I send the good vibes out there. So, and we talked about some of the things that people pray for. Can we address what kind of prayer would be more evolved than what we just discussed?
and then we appreciate what God has given us
Yeah, gratitude, express gratitude. Yeah,
and pray to give.
yeah, and pray to give, yes.
Strength.
Give me some service. Was that?
Strength. Asking for
Give me
strength.
strength, to fight Maya in particular. Yeah, so you understand there's different gradations of motivations in prayer, okay? So we talked about Dasya, and the person who's humble will pray. The person who's arrogant will pray. Real oftentimes, until something happens and everything falls apart and you're brought down to your knees, which is what some people do. I remember when I was walking in the Ottawa area, I was in a little town, and there was, how they have these little sayings outside in the front of their church building, say, we do, we don't email here, we me-mail. We get on our knees. Gimmicky, isn't it? That's good. Okay, so for Dasya, Sakya, becoming a friend of the Lord. How important is that? Very. I mean, there's mentioned at least twice in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, because you are my devotee, Plus, you are my amigo, my friend. Therefore, I'm telling you everything that you need to know. So it's important that we not only become a devotee and enter the temple and be very formal about everything, but you also have to come in with a mood of friendliness. And seeing God as a friend, devotees as friends. Because sometimes we get so, let's say, so wrapped up in following the rules. So when I was in Mauritius, every morning program we had, because it was so needed, was on the beach. We walked by the beach, we did our japa, we sang the Guru Vastakam in the ocean with everybody, and then we played a game to bond, because in that country, it's an island, it's kind of behind in a way, people are super shy, super stiff, and I thought it's really important to bond, and it's quite common for pujaris or somebody like that to scold others. This is not the right way, and that's the only communication that some devotees have. You've got to be nice to each other. You have to show warmth, and it's not about just rules and regulations. Krishna's not interested in your rules and regulations, unless if you have the right attitude. So speaking of attitude, after establishing the Sakyam principle, finally it's surrender, letting go. And that's what we have to do. How many times do you make arrangements thinking you're in control? And then you realize, I guess I'm not God. I'm not Bhagavan. But my ego leads me to believe that I am God. So I shared this with you before. There was this one minister of religion, and he said, I've been with the ministry for 4 years, and there's 2 things I've learned. Number 1, there is a God. Number 2, it's not me. So these are great realizations, and again, we're talking about simplicity. Simplicity. Just check out the verse we were looking at, the last thing before we get everyone to open up. Bhagavad Gita 17:16. I think that's what it is. You read it this morning, right? Gopal, right? Gopal. 16. Can you read the verse? Yeah, you did it. Then just give us the English.
And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities.
So people they ask me, they probably ask you, how do I control my mind? I'm trying to do my job, how do I control my mind? Okay? So here are some great hints. Being happy, leading a simple life, that is the point. Being great, but be serious as well. Control your senses, and live a pure life, clean and all that. These are the austerities of the mind. That's how the mind gets control, through these practices. And then you have to read the purport. That's the homework I'm giving you. Read the purport. And since our mind is full of thoughts, full of stories, dreams, desires, things of the past, things of the future, things you want, hardly do we ever think about what's now. And so it was suggested, and you read it this morning, there are so many stories in the Vedas that you can absorb in your mind. The Mahabharata, Puranas, right? You remember that? Yeah, so get familiar with that. Get familiar with that. And immerse yourself in it. That will fill your mind with these great heroes that we read about. And everyone's into superheroes these days. Good, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I spoke over my time. Prue, thank you for guarding the clock. I could see a little bit of something. All right, so let's just open up and discuss some of the things that we
Would you
just.
say that lawyer that you met, would you say that the conversation with you kind of took him on a journey from atheism to agnosticism?
Yeah, perhaps.
That was amazing.
Well, you know, it doesn't take much in a way. Like it didn't take much for those women in Quebec where we just did a few little simple exercises. The surrendering one, that's a big one. And then writing a prayer. You're asking everyone to write a prayer. You know, and you give out, we would give out like those little recipe cards, you know, that people keep in the cuisine. You know, so and you just give everyone a pen and so write. Compose or some people. Maybe we didn't have this so much at that time. And it's very eye-opening, heart-opening, heartwarming. Write a prayer. Okay, you may not believe in God, but just talk to the universe then. A lot of our young people say, I believe in the universe, I believe in nature. Do that then. Communicate with nature. Say thank you to nature. Hug a tree, I don't care. So show some appreciation. So show some humility. That's that.
Maharaj, I have a request. The workshop that you've done, can we do it someday here?
Yes, we can do it because I think we have a new crowd. Yeah, we'll just have to work it out with Bishop when she comes back. You know, we can do it. We can actually cover it in, I've done marathons with it. And you can probably do it in an hour, but actually it takes more like 2 hours. To make it real. And then make it interactive.
Yeah. I would say the ones that I've attended took about 3 hours with a couple of breaks in between.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we can cover it in 2 classes.
Or even if we could plan like another, like an afternoon event or a Saturday or Sunday, which is, and we can even publicize it and we can do it.
Well, my experience is that
Not
if
too big.
25 people, if it gets too big and it gets
Anonymous.
you lose.
People hide in the corners and they don't kind of come out.
Yeah, it's just, and it's, we get everyone to come forward and, you know, so they say the second, you get a chance to meet your friend and you tell everyone your friend's name. It can get very, it can drag on as long. It loses its intimacy, you know, but like this group and a few friends from the Bhakti Academy, we do that, or a little more public with it, for sure.
I'll coordinate with her when she's back.
Oh,
You
okay.
What I really feel like is many people should take it that you should plan for multiple sessions where a group attends a session and try to mix it up because like this. So Maharaj is saying make new friends, not the same group of people all the time.
That's a good idea. I'll coordinate and plan it.
Yeah, sure, it just depends on the availability of myself even. But, you know, when you start part 1 and there's a part 2 or 3, you have to try to bring it close together, not, you know, let's say separated by time so much. And then it's good to do it like 2 or 3 days in a row. That's would be my opinion.
I think it's, if I've understood it correctly, we're seeing different batches but not different parts.
Yeah, we can figure out the details. Maharaj is giving a few different ideas.
Thank you very much. We'll work on it. Any other questions for Bruce? Realizations?
I've read it on internet actually that once you write down your problems, either it could be prayer or anything.
Yeah,
Like if you write it down,
yeah.
so 50% it is solved.
Yes, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And, or you just convey it to somebody you trust.
Yes.
Yeah, we all actually want to get a little bit away from just putting it on here or on paper, maybe if that's, if you are, you don't want to share so much, but in confidence, speaking to someone, it really helps.
some people don't believe in, like if some people are of mode of ignorance, don't believe in Krishna consciousness, how you bring them to the consciousness?
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Swarinam Pasi Arjun. So you offer them a new experience. You know, it's all about how you promote it. Hey, we're going to do something really cool tonight. And it's called the Nine Devotions. And, so that's just one thing. Start off by offering your friendship and kind of hold their hand, take them along the Bhakti trail. You know, but it starts with care. With care. And one, let's say, qualification a lot of people have is that they're not cared for. They're not loved. The family unit is broken up. A lot of people, there's a lot of people who die now. What is the term they use? They die and they're not accountable to anybody. No one's coming to their funeral because they have been, let's say, ostracized or alienated themselves from family and friends. A lot of people just live in this world looking at the screen, trying to be happy with that. But it's can never, even touch any relation can never, it's the only solution. So we're talking about loneliness and this thing is to we can share. So care, self-care, they talk a lot about self-care now. Self-care basically translates into take care of your soul, take care of yourself. Don't burn out, which is what a lot of people just, two problems I see in the modern world here. There's people who work too hard, too tough, burn out. And the other kind, they don't, no burn. not doing enough overthinking. And there's problems on both sides. So for the balance. Just to answer your question, let's say, show care, show friendship, take some time to speak to somebody. Yesterday I was on Young Street and I met a young man. He had a shaved head. He did have cut to the hair in the back. And he just started talking to me. He said, "Oh, I'm from Nepal. How long have you been a monk?" He said, 51 years. Oh my God, you should be Buddha by now. He believed that he was Buddha, by the way. First of all, I thought he was Vaishnava because of the Sikha. But he said, I'm working my way towards being the next Buddha. Okay, all right. I hope you succeed. So people need friendship, like anything. That's why they come to Krishna consciousness. They come because they're looking for a sense of community. People come not just for one individual, often the receptionist's job is really important because that person becomes a friend or a link. Who did we have before? That was one of the best receptionists.
Krishna Ganga.
He was okay, but he's more quiet. But who was it before? He moved to Ottawa glasses. You wouldn't know. Well, anyways, okay. People would always ask for him because he would take a little time to talk to them. And then people come to the temple because darshan is probably the first thing to make this darshan. I want to get some mercy from God. I meet somebody at the front desk, they give me something, a card telling about the festival. I get a little prashadam from the reception. And they come in just sit down and have a little peace. There's those motivations. And so that's how it starts. To bring people along in Krishna consciousness. If you are Krishna conscious and you exhibit all the qualities, people say, I like that, I like him, or I like her, and I'm more like that. So you have to exhibit those great qualities, of which there's 26. And none of those are attractive.
You quoted Saint Francis of Assisi.
Yes.
Preach all the time.
preach and say a few words if you have to. Preach if you have to. So in other words, by your behavior, you attract people. We have this one lady that I gave picture to. She's from Cleveland, and she works in a company. She's a little older. It's mostly men who work there, and they come to her because she's together. She's Krishna conscious, grounded. So they come to her for advice. She exhibits the qualities. Anything else?
Maharaj, your life of actress is so blank, fully void. There's nothing to get guidance from.
Yeah.
There's nothing to tell them what's wrong, what's right. There's no foundation in their life.
Yeah. Well, some people are atheists. They believe in live on a mode of being respectful to others. They can be quite meticulous about how they conduct their affairs in life. Some. And so one seems to believe, I'm just doing my dharma. And from that I get happiness, I get fulfillment. But really to us it's not enough. So it depends on who you're talking to. There are some people who are blatantly, I don't believe in anybody up there.
How do they surrender to what to surrender?
Their mind, their desires. That's the dangerous route. It's very dangerous. I don't believe anything, I just believe in myself. It's the self. That the pearl could deeper into it. What is the self? Oh, me. What are you? Oh, I'm a guy. I'm asking very gently. I'm a community. Well, sure, you can also migrate and become get other citizenship. What's the you that really sticks? What is that? What part of it? So anyways, you don't want to say the soul. And just give a new word. You're a jiva. You're an anti-material form that continues to exist. Give them a new language, new package, you know. Same philosophy. I find that some places, if you say the words that are too Christian, I heard that before. So then give them some new verbiage. Be their friend. Give them what they need to hear. And a big part of bringing people along in Krishna consciousness is to listen to them too. It's not all about me telling them everything. Unless they're a quiet type that just want it. So anyways, our time is up. And I have to go to program.
Thank you so much.
Much.